Hey, this is a little bit different. I think these Thursday videos are just going to continue in like a kind of a vlog space. But over the next few weeks, I really wanted to get into like diet and exercise stuff for me. So, like, my goals are obviously to improve my mental and physical health over the next 12 months. And I've talked about that a little bit on this channel before, but I don't think I've ever really addressed exercise, and I guess I just wanted to sort of get it on record what I was doing and what the intention was. In this video, I'll go through. These are all being kind of recorded out of order, but I'll get it together in editing. So I do currently, about 4 or 5 weeks in at this stage of a routine that's basically like I lift weights, very light, short sessions 3 times a week, in a really basic split. Like it's, back and biceps, and then it's shoulders and calves, and then it is chest, triceps, and some abdominal stuff. So 3 20-minute weight workouts a week. About 4 medium walks of about 45 minutes, which is about, I think in walking, it's about 3 kilometers. It's not very far, but get a little sweat going. And then every 10 days, I'm doing a Pilates session, which is pretty much all I'm doing for my legs at the moment. And that's sort of legs, hips, glutes, abdominal work, and just trying to correct the damage I've done over the last several years. Basically, tomorrow I'm going to put a video out, which is the one I've mentioned it on Tuesday's video as well, which is about my body issues, body shame, and the effect of stress and medication and all that sort of stuff. And I just wanted to add to that today. So I'll go through my first workout at the end of this video. Next week, I'll go through the second workout that I do in the week, and in a couple of weeks' time, I'll do the third workout as well, so you can see what I actually do. It's not exactly pretty, and it's not. I'm not a fitness influencer, obviously, and there's not a hell of a lot to it. But yeah, I am in the worst shape of my life right now. I've been very overweight several times in my life, and have done kind of dramatic weight loss regimes, transformations in the past. Once when I was about 18, 19, 20 years of age, another time in my mid-20s, and now I'm in my sort of kind of late 30s now. And yeah, things are quite bad. The goal is to lose 30 kilograms in total, which is, it's considerable. It will take 12 months at minimum to achieve that in a way that's, sustainable. And so there's no quick fix here, and I'm not really interested in quick fixes. My relationship with food, which is one thing I'll talk about today, before I show you that workout. What can I say? My relationship with food. Yeah, it's always been a bit of an issue, obviously, and I really learned some pretty bad habits in childhood. So I used to eat to escape stress quite a lot. I have a lot of memories of being at the dinner table and sort of stuffing my face because people were having arguments, and there was a feeling of stress there, and there was a feeling of not wanting to engage with people and not be noticed. So I would eat very quickly, and I would eat a lot, and feeling very, very full made me feel very good, in a kind of like a high sort of a way. And, you know, I also think of stuffing myself as being a bit like putting your fingers in your ears, trying to shut the noise out. So often when I've needed to shut the noise out, so to speak, I've put a lot of food in my body. And, you know, obviously that's not a great habit. Yes, binge eating has been an issue for me all my life. And then I've had these rapid swings, like, well, not rapid, but these quite dramatic swings from obesity or being very overweight, at least, to being super, super fit and in shape. And those yo-yoing, I mean, we know that yo-yoing doesn't have good effects long-term on the body. The other thing, too, is that it kind of makes losing weight harder each time. But the other thing that it does psychologically is that you think you can always get the weight back off. So, you know, when things are going the wrong way, when you're putting on a lot of weight, again, you often say, well, I'll fix this later, and kick the can down the road until things are really quite a mess. And things are quite a mess, and I am very concerned because I'm older, for one, so it's going to be harder to get the weight back off. That's the first thing. Because I've crashed and yo-yoed before, it's going to be harder. But the other reason it's going to be harder this time for me is also because I'm on medication for my mental health, which I was not on any of the previous times that I've lost weight. And the medications that I take, one of the symptoms, side effects, which I talked about on Tuesday's video, is that they can increase your propensity to put on weight. They can. That's one of the symptoms, is gaining weight. So there's seemingly more hurdles, and I'm arguably sort of further back than I've ever been. Although, to be fair, I'm not sure that I am so much anymore, because I did gain a year or two ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, actually, now that I think about it, I was even heavier than I am right now. So I think I had another 5 to 10 kilos on top of what I am right now. So that was the worst I've ever been. But for some reason, it wasn't showing up so much in my face like it did when I was 18. But anyway, that's another story. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, that's it. Binge eating, linked to sort of childhood and wanting to escape, stuffing myself. Those are really the things I wanted to talk about, and just say that, you know, I've always had a poor relationship with food. And I wanted to address my diet and what I'm doing differently, if anyone's curious about this, although you'll probably be more curious after if and when I prove that I can do what I'm doing. My new diet is that I don't really talk about my new diet, and that it is not a diet. I've never really followed a quote-unquote diet before. I've certainly never followed any fads or trends. Basically, it's just some principles that I put in place, which is, some meal frequency. So actually being deliberate about eating. I get really out of whack often, and I don't eat early. I forget to eat, and then I stuff my face later in the day. And because I'm so hungry, I overeat. So just making sure I'm more deliberate about eating. And then low GI diet, essentially. So using or working in more complex carbohydrates. So things like brown rice, sweet potatoes, wholemeal pasta, and that kind of thing. And then oatmeal, obviously, as well. So oats for breakfast, porridge, that kind of thing. And then just reducing a few things. So reduce dairy, reduce sugar, trying to get to a point of no sugar, but that will take quite some time. Dairy, I have a little bit of Greek yogurt in a smoothie, but that's about it. I don't have milk or cheese often. I can have some if I really want some, but I try not to, try to steer away from it. And then sort of, again, it's a general principle, it's not a rule, and I'll get into principles versus rules at some point. I'll do a video on that. But the other principle is no bread, okay? So I try and avoid bread as much as possible. Like, I think that I like bread, but I think it's also like, it's one of these foods that is just like kind of too convenient in a way, and it stops you from thinking about what you're eating. Like, it's so easy to grab a sandwich or a roll from somewhere. And, you know, yeah, if I find as a principle for dieting, if I remove bread, if I don't give myself that option, and I'm thinking about, you know, having a meal with some pasta or some rice or a soup with some barley or something like that, or some sweet potato or something like this, then I'm a lot more deliberate in my choice. So it, as a guiding principle, it just puts me in a position to be more diet conscious, which is what I want to be. So it's not eliminating bread is going to get amazing results, full stop. It's just that by eliminating it, it causes me to be more deliberate and to slow down, as well as to plan my eating a little bit better, rather than leaving things up to the last minute and going and grabbing a sandwich very quickly. So that's why I have that rule in place, principle in place. And then the last few principles is I basically don't drink soft drink anymore. I've eliminated alcohol from my diet, which is something that's, I mentioned that I think on Tuesday as well, is that I'm over the halfway mark. I said back in February that I was going to take 12 months off from drinking and see how that felt. And so I've passed 6 months there. So that's already something I was doing anyway. Alcohol doesn't really mix well with the medication I'm on. Don't like who I am when I drink anymore. Don't really like booze in my life at all anymore. So no alcohol, no soft drink. Look, I'll probably have a can of Diet Coke at some point, but essentially trying not to do that. I just drink water, really. And no mixes, no like cordials or anything like that to sweeten the or give flavour to water. I'm just happy with water, sparkling water. It's fine, tastes good to me. So, and then no junk food, so no franchise outlets, no McDonald's, no KFC, none of that stuff. And very limited on snacks. So I can snack, but I've just got a shorter, a smaller, fewer options to choose from is what I'm trying to say. So rice cakes, corn cakes, the Vita wheat biscuits that are really good. They're like a whole wheat cracker that I can have. I have them with hummus. Tastes really good. Sometimes I just have that as a meal. And popcorn, and that's pretty much it. I also have occasionally these like veggie chips. Yeah, they're. I try not to replace anything. Like, I always hate it when dietitians are like, "Hey, instead of having potato chips, have, you know, a carrot and hummus," and it's like, well, that's nothing like a potato chip. So, so I generally try not to play those games, but there are these like veggie chips that you can get in kind of like the health food section of my supermarket that, you know, are reasonable in terms of calories and, you know, fats and all that sort of stuff. And so I have them occasionally. I don't love them. I don't pig out on them. I think they're nice once in a while. I allow myself to have them, but that's it. So it's those veggie chips, rice cakes, corn cakes, Vita wheat hummus, and popcorn. But again, you know, you try to not just pig out on that and have it every night. But certainly, one of the principles is less snacking overall. If you want a snack, however, those are your options. There are no more options apart from those. And that's it. Low GI, low dairy, low sugar, no alcohol. That's it. You know, no bread. That's it. It's not anything crazy. It's pretty normal. And plenty of fruits, plenty of veggies, and some fruit, you know. Not too much fruit, but some. I probably have a banana every other day, and sometimes some blueberries. That's about it. Very simple. Yeah, that's my diet. Trying to reshape my relationship with food. All right, I'm going to do the first workout and show you what that looks like. And that's it for today's vlog. Bye. Hey guys, I'm back taking you through the workout. There's the gym, there's the board. Here's my 3 workouts split, 1, 2, and 3. Plus I got some notes on some stretching and warm up and Pilates movements to do if I've got the time for them. Just warming up with a bit on the treadmill, 15-20 minutes before getting into my first exercise. So we're going to be on workout 1, back and buys, which is, there's 5 exercises there. Effectively, it's really only about 4 exercises. The first one is seated row, which obviously I just hook up using the cable machine I've got. I've got a pretty decent setup. Just trying to focus on, you know, doing things properly and not hurting myself. Then moving on to lat pull down, set and rep range, 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps, and that's pretty much going to be how things go for the first, you know, 8 to 12 weeks. Then stiff arm pull downs, kneeling, and that's kind of it for the back and lats. And then again, 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps, really lightweight, nothing crazy. And then finishing off with biceps today, just dumbbell curls there, and really finishing off after this with cable curls using the rope, and just 2 sets with about 20 reps. So just kind of trying to get the last little bit of juice squeezed out there, and that's it. Super light, easy, 20-25 minutes maximum, plus the warm-up, and that's all you are doing. And obviously this is Kingsley now post-workout, and that's it. That's 1 of 3 in the bag. I'll see you next week. Bye.